Welcome back to another episode of Chocolate Conversations Podcast, where we have real conversations that speak directly to you. I'm your host, Keon Taylor AKA Key, alongside my co-host, the inspirational Dr. V.
What's up?
And last but not least, the myth, the legend, Hot Fe Stokes.
What up, what up?
How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Oh, good to hear. Oh, one more thing. We got two special guests in the building. Now, these people are special. You know, we've been in their house numerous of times for great events. Very talented. He's a host in his own right. Beautiful Cocoa Black couple. Very talented doing their thing. It's a blessing and an honor.
I like that.
Yeah.
To have them on the show.
Yes.
So I'm going to give them their flowers early.
Yes.
But man, I want to give it up, guys, to Tracy Marie and my man Ryan Ger.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
How are y'all doing? Good. Thank you for joining us.
I was sitting back too far. Let me sit up.
Yes.
I look slim. I'm just kidding.
Hey, just know when you with Chocolate Conversations Podcast, your family, let loose, cut up, speak your truth. You know, this is education. We're going to cut up. We're going to act a fool. We're going to have fun with it. So just be yourself, man.
Got it.
That's
I'm
what
ready.
we play here.
Enjoy.
Now, before we get into this, guys, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to this video, comment on this video. Let's get into this. All right, guys. Well, we got a hell of a show today. Something very important in the Black community because we need those rates to go up more, you know. We're talking about marriage today.
Yeah.
And the thing about marriage is, what I want to know and what the people want to know is, why is marriage so unattractive to men, but more attractive to women? It's almost like saying, is marriage a woman's dream, but a man's dilemma? We're going to unpack that today. Got
Let's
a lot to
unpack
talk
it.
about. And we got the right people to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When do we start?
Right.
Oh, man. We're going to start. We're going to start.
When do we start?
So let's establish whether or not marriage is beneficial to Black men and Black women, respectfully. So I'm going to start with you guys, man. What are the benefits to marriage? Just in general, man.
Okay, I'm gonna go two directions with this.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Take your time, baby.
You ready? This is raw. Kids don't watch this show, do they?
No.
Okay.
Only adults.
It's raw and uncut. You get to have sex every time you want to with the same person. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. I ain't gotta strap up. I ain't gotta pull out. Like it literally, physically is like I ain't gotta make no. I mean, I still gotta prime the pump throughout the day, but I don't have to like. What you doing? You coming over tonight? You want to like? I don't have to go through all.
That's such a man answer.
I respect you guys.
I'm not shocked by it.
sign up
in
tomorrow.
my league.
That's it. I mean, think about. All right, for real. Tall men, right? Men, we are the I can't use the word anymore, but we're the hunters, right? So we're going after whatever, which requires us to pay for dates. Requires us to figure out what the date's going to be, what they're going to be, how much money we're going to spend.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then in this society today, from what I'm hearing, everybody's ghosting people. So I can go spend $200 on a date with you and never talk to you again? Absolutely not. Let me get one woman that I can take on a date. Monday's date night, so we did this for y'all on date night. We're still going to eat at this. We're still going to eat. So one woman I can invest my time, money, and energy into, my effort, every single day of my entire life. And I'm going to get the reciprocity of planting those seeds throughout the day. So that's my first answer. Like literally, it's actually easier to be married than it is to date. I mean, I still date. We still date within our marriage, absolutely. But I don't have to do as much because I done did it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean,
I feel you on
I
that.
get that.
I mean, I have another answer, but that's my initial thought. What you got?
I want to hear the answer that's not so much like a man, but still.
What was the question again? What's the
The
question again?
benefit of marriage. You said two different.
And then we're going to get to the
ways.
detriment and the cons of it,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so the benefit of marriage is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yes.
We have all the 5 things. I don't always remember all the 5 of them, but I know
Self-actualization.
Self-actualization at the time, right?
Yeah.
But also companionship or whatever that
Yep.
you're not, no man, no person is an island. You're meant to do life with someone else,
Yeah.
right? And so getting married allows you to do life with someone else. There are things that we talk all the time. We're together all the time because I like her. So I don't have to be something that I'm not with her. Like I can be my complete total self. I'm goofy. You may not ever know that
So
until
goofy.
you
I can see
get
a little
close
bit. I
enough,
can see a
right?
little bit.
So I can be vulnerable. Most men aren't going to be vulnerable with people, let alone more than one person. And I say all the time, there's like a woman cannot change a man, but there is one woman every man will change for.
Respect.
So the benefit of having a companion, someone to share my life with, someone to have it's a helpmate. We have these soirees. The first soiree I ever had when she came, I did everything.
With an attitude.
Yeah,
With an attitude.
I'm saying like
a grumpiness, like I got it. Don't even worry about it. Like I got it, and I was
mean,
just
it was your first
it
one.
was my first one. So we were still fresh,
and I was accustomed to not having help in my previous relationship. So I'm an entertainer, right? We have these soirees, kickbacks. Y'all done been to the crib. Y'all know how it goes down, right? So I've been doing that since 2006, but I didn't have any help over those years. So then we start hanging out and dating. Had the soiree. Had the second one. She cooked everything. So the day of, I'm like, I just got to show up. Like this is different. So literally, it is a helpmate. And so have the benefit of marriage is a good partner is going to help you no matter what it is, right? And so even the fact, no joke, the fact that she's here, and I'll let her answer this too, but her doing a podcast, her speak like she was an introvert. That's not her thing.
I'm still an introvert.
Yeah, but
yes.
But being with me has brought some of those things out of her because of the companionship, because of the marriage. So there's a lot of benefits, man. That's awesome. tax benefits too. I mean, you know, tax benefits too. You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer, my man answer, and then my real answer.
I mean, I like both of them because both are very, very true. But for me, I'll say it's a woman's answer. I don't have to do life alone. Like good, bad, indifferent. Like somebody is always there at the end of the day. I guess it kind of goes in line with like, you know, never having to like wonder if you're going to have sex when you go home that night.
But some marriages do, let's be clear.
Ours absolutely not. But just he is my best friend. We've connected 4 years ago, and he is my very best friend. So to be able to do any and everything with this person is amazing. And even when we get on each other's nerves, it's like, gosh, he's getting on my nerves right now, but all I want to do is be up under him. How do we get back to that?
On my nerves, y'all.
Whatever.
And how long have y'all been married again for the people?
About to be 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years in July.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this question before we get to like the cons of marriage. I've heard this saying that it's better to marry who the person's going to be 10 years from now versus marrying a person who they are today.
I do not.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree with that?
What?
That sounds like,
Okay.
We're
both
I'm saying this for a reason because sometimes we marry the person who they are today, but then 10 years from now they burn out of each other. You know, people change. Because think about it, the Ryan that you married 4 years ago is a different Ryan now, and especially what he's going to be 10 years from now. So that's what I'm saying. Is it better to marry who they're going to be versus where they are now? Or is that?
So in that statement, I hear what women are taught to not do, which is to date and marry the potential of a person.
Okay,
because
I got you.
We might envision them to be something that they can't even see for themselves. And we're going to be in 12 years later, be like, what
miserable
is happening? Because you were supposed to, but
According
they didn't know
though?
that. That was a woman's own expectation. So I definitely don't agree with the potential, but part of the reason that he and I are successful, people might be like, oh, it's only been 3 years, whatever. We are still successful.
People don't make it 3 years, bro.
And
they don't.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
we accept the fact that he is not, and I am not the same person that we met in, what was it?
So we initially met in 2016, but we connected in 2021.
I am not the same woman in any capacity whatsoever, but he knew that, like, when we started dating, he knew. We had very transparent conversations where I was just like, I'm going to speak up when things aren't going well for me. It's not that I'm complaining or nagging. I have an expectation and a standard of a way to be treated, etc. And it's your job to either do it or not. And vice versa. He deserves the exact same reciprocity. So we accept, like, I've battled mental health issues and he's been right there. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. But like I've learned how to communicate, like, I'm not okay today. So don't expect me to be your normal wife. And what he says, which is so helpful, is, okay, how can I help? Like the other day, I told him, I was like, I just want to lay in a dark room. And he was like, well, we're not doing that. I'm not going to let that happen, but I'm here. So that's one of the ways that he and I are still so successful, because it's an open line of communication about everything, transparency, good, bad, indifferent, and accepting who we really, really are.
That part.
Yeah. You can't marry somebody based on what they're gonna be, because you don't know what they're gonna be.
Right.
So to her point, how do you have a expectation of somebody? They might not even have the expectations themselves. So now you're setting yourself up for failure because you believe this person should be doing, according to who? Like, who said you should be doing it this way? And so I think for us, we are just constantly evolving. You know, we had some very tough conversations in the very beginning before moving on. Like, do you want more kids? That's the number one question I ask. You want more kids? No. Great. We can continue getting to know each other because I'm not having any more kids. Like, and there are some things that I believe that when you're single and you're dating, there's some, I don't say absolutes, but there's some things that are non-negotiable, right?
Right.
And then, I'm not saying the 6-figure this. I'm talking about like real life. I need a clean woman, right? You know, like I want somebody that's clean.
Can't marry a slob. That's my thing.
I want you to still. I want to look at you. One of the things was look at her like she's brand new every time. I never get tired of looking at her, right? Whether she's getting dressed, not dressed, like whatever, because I adore her. Like I again. But the crux of it all is I like her. So because I like her, there's a lot of things that I just like. You know, so it's just heightened.
Because a lot of people, when you talk to married people, sometimes they don't say that.
They
don't like each other.
They don't. That's the problem.
They don't like. They tolerate, or they're doing it for other
reasons. Or it's a sexless marriage.
Which is crazy work.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
Often.
You aren't having. So I'll give a perspective, and we talk about this all the time. From a man's perspective, if your woman is not giving you any, what are you doing to help her be in a space to be open enough and ready enough and not tired to give it up at the end of the night?
Right.
Like if she went to work today and you went to work today and you came home and you sat on the couch all day and watched TV and watched sports and kicked your feet up, and she cooked dinner, she got the kids ready for bed, and she ironed and she did nap time and she did homework at 9:30, she ain't got nothing left.
Right. That's right.
Like legit, last week the kids were out of school unexpectedly for 4 days. My wife works from home, so they're home all day, every day with her. We got 3 ones, 9, 2 6-year-olds, right? So they're home. So Friday, I was like, all right, I'm trying to find a way to like get you your time, whether I take the kids away, you take the 3-hour bath, like, because I know this week has been rough. And she's like, well, I really, all I want to do is spend it with you. Well, we can't really make that happen, but we did. We had date night the next night. Her uncle came over, watched the kids. We went out, right? Because I knew she needed to be poured into. And then I made Sunday dinner. Right? So I'm getting some. You know, like I'm not like because she's not it's an awareness, right? So I think emotional intelligence is probably more important than any other one.
We talk about that a lot.
Like to recognize the fact that my wife is unexpectedly home with 3 kids. They eating all kind of stuff. They fighting. They got attitudes. Like
I'm triggered right now.
I'm sorry. I'm stop talking about it. But I say all that to say, if your marriage or your relationship is sexless, see where the workload is, right? How much capacity does that person have to give to you at the end of the night? Because let's be honest, man, and I'm married. You can do nothing to me. Y'all could do sex for y'all most of the time, which if you understood it's for the woman, you would get way more and it'd be way more pleasurable. But you just worry about getting your nut. Like, that's crazy. If you take care of her 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, you can get 50 times back.
She gonna take care of you.
And she gonna take care of you. So
respect.
Make sure that you are emotionally intelligent enough to recognize in your partner that they may not have it to give and communicate. Talk about it. I ain't got it tonight, babe. Okay, how can I help? What can I do? Not just so I can get some. I'm not taking you out on a date so I can get some. Like, I'm doing that because I value you. And because I value you, my actions are going to line up with those values, and you're going to feel that. So,
that's real talk, man. So you named all the benefits to marriage, man, and I'm already convinced. I mean, I think it's beautiful what you guys are doing. I think, but I'm gonna shift this question to Ryan and Hot Fe. So, is marriage, like you describe the benefits of marriage and everything, man. It's beautiful. So why are a lot of men running away from marriage or saying, man, marriage don't really benefit man. The family court systems don't look out for man a lot. Oh, if things go left, she gets half. All of this, once you put that ring on her, she gonna stop doing the things that she usually do. Like I hear a lot of men talk reckless about, what marriage benefits women. It doesn't really benefit man. But everything you describe, I feel you, but but a lot of men is running away in a different direction. So I'm gonna just shift the question to you guys to see why is that the case?
I think just in totality, especially in today's dating climate, like let me just first say this. First and foremost, I commend anybody getting married in today's dating climate.
Oh man.
Because with so much
He's gonna say his favorite word.
you know right, with this deregulated dating market. Deregulated dating market.
Okay.
I commend anybody who finds their partner and gets married because it's just so much access. Everybody has an overinflated reality of their options, which has caused, and then with just the influence of social media, what people see, it gives them a facade of what marriage is or what is not, the ins and outs, good and bad. They see people trolling each other. There's a lot of resentment between men and women, and guys just a lot of guys just kind of feel like just the fear of maybe picking the wrong woman.
Yeah,
I definitely just picking the wrong woman.
I've definitely been there because I hear a lot of guys say, "Man, I'm not afraid of marriage. It's just the fear of getting divorced. I don't want to fail, or it's a headache."
Yeah.
Like I hear those talking points all the time, and it's like, man, you don't know until you try. But I can also understand as a man too, it could go left because even though I haven't been married before, I'm kind of a one and done guy. I want to just do it one time and that's it. But sometimes you may have to do it one or two times to get it right.
Get it right.
You know what I'm saying? And I commend people for that.
Yeah.
Well, let's say this. I didn't get married to get divorced. I never went into marriage thinking if it goes left.
Okay.
Because if you're having that mentality, then you're putting those things out to the atmosphere.
Okay.
And at some point, it's gonna be exactly what it's gonna be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay.
Right. So if you're saying
I love that.
we divorce, she gonna get half. No, not necessarily. Like that's not necessarily true. I might be an anomaly when it comes to the court and all those things, but it's not true. But you can't go into anything expecting to fail. LeBron is going to lose some games. If you go in that locker room before any game and talk to LeBron, I promise you he's going to say he's going to win. His confidence is never going to go. He's LeBron. Right? I'm going to go out there and win no matter what. And even if he loses, he's still gonna win, right? So I think having that negative mentality and listening to all the crap on social media from people who are not happy in their marriage or their relationship, or not in these relationship people that don't have no spouse and no girlfriend and no boyfriend, that's crazy to me. Like, how are you teaching me how to be in a relationship and you can't even have one yourself?
That's crazy work.
But you see it all the time. So it's what you make it, right? Can our marriage be sexless if we didn't want to, like we want to? You can convince yourself not to do anything. Like you convince yourself not to go to the gym, not to go to work. Like you can make up an excuse for not doing something. We choose not to make those excuses. Now I may say, hey babe, when I get home, I need an hour on the game, or like I'm probably going to bed a little early tonight, like I'm a little tired, but I communicate that with her. And if I do those things, that means the next day she got me completely. So
Kendrick Lamar had a quote in the song. He said, communication save relations. And I always wonder, a lot of the people who've been divorced or break up in relationships, I always wonder, man, if they just communicated better, can a lot of these relationships be saved? Communicating
you
better.
have to be willing. I think there is a barrier. So let me say this. I think there's a barrier of communication that you have to choose to break down. And then if you realize that person is not choosing to get better with it, then you probably have to pivot. I didn't have great communication in my last relationship. I just think our communication styles were vastly different, and it was a lot of friction because of that. I think I communicate pretty well, but if the person receiving it doesn't think that, then it's not great communication.
I'll say, because I was previously married as well.
Okay.
And I'm not one to like put it off on somebody else or on the other person or whatever, but I think communication is key to success, but at the same time, comprehension. It's not just, oh, I'm a great communicator. Can the other person comprehend what you're putting down? And in my instance, neither one of us were comprehending each other. So there was no reconciliation. There was no, we can make this work, because for 10 years, neither one of us understood each other ever.
Wow.
That's a great point.
And that's unfortunate, but it was a learning lesson. And you just, when you know better, you do better. I was married through a trauma bond. Didn't know it. Raised children in a dysfunctional home. Didn't know it until it was over and was like, wait a minute.
I do that. Yeah.
You know, moving forward, you know, these people who are afraid to get into relationships or get into a marriage, it's like, do you know you?
Right.
Do you really, like you said, men are scared to pick the wrong one. If you know you, I don't, at this age that I am, I don't think I would pick the wrong one this stage of the game, because I know me.
Right.
I'm not going to ignore 17 red flags in the beginning.
Right.
It's like, no,
and
this is it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, sweetie. And you do your due diligence up front.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time during the dating.
Yeah.
We don't have these tough conversations where you're saying, talk about the non-negotiable. If you want children or if you want to travel internationally, like that's important to some people, or where you want to live or things of that nature. And, or if parents, we're at the age where a lot of our parents are getting sick. And so we don't even have, I'm realizing, me and my friends talked about it, like even when we're dating, we need to have these conversations about family dynamics, because what if we have to bring our parents in the home because they're older? That can really uproot a marriage, right? And so it's these tough conversations that a lot of people don't have when they're dating, that leads to this, oh, we're getting divorced when something hits the fan, right? So I love what y'all are saying though.
It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. What do y'all think are some of the misconceptions about marriage? Because clearly, you know, you see a lot of people that's not married out here, and they've never been married before, but a lot of people just have a skewed view of what marriage is. But then talking to you guys, I give a whole different scope of it.
They think it's boring.
I think
That's I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was boring, because I'm like, I'll be honest with you. This is what I was thinking. I was like, you mean to tell me I gotta have sex with the same woman for the rest of my natural born life? What's so exciting about that? I mean, I was ignorant at the time, but I was thinking like, yo, how?
You find new stuff to do.
You gotta be creative, right?
you get to experiment with the person that you feel safe with, and
you.
have confidence that like, you know, they're not going out and doing the same stuff with somebody else the next night.
Absolutely.
You know, so yes, is having sex with the same person like for the rest of your life, does it sound like it's an awful thing? It does sound like it's an awful thing, but if you make the choice for it not to be, and you're in alignment with the person that you're married to, it can be very amazing.
Yeah, so our new hashtag is marriage is fun.
Yeah.
Because people think that marriage is boring because of all the things we talked about, right? So sexless marriage, dating, like we had an article written on us a couple weeks ago, and they said they thought, because I said we've been dating for 4 years, that we dated for 4 years and then got married. They didn't even recognize that I'm still dating her even though we're married.
Right.
And it's just because that's the mentality, right? Like, oh, you date, then you get married. Like, no. You still date, you get married, and you still date. And a lot of people don't date. A lot of people don't make time for their marriage. They make time for the kids. That they won't do whatever because they got to get the kids. Okay, them kids gonna be. How many people have you seen that get kids, that have kids rather? The kids go off to college, and the husband and wife divorce.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
All the
Because
time.
they spent
That was keeping them together.
That's
Yeah.
what. And they didn't have to deal with each other because they didn't like each other, but they didn't know it because they were doing the kids and the school and the work. And that's all they focused on for 18, 19, 20 years. And you married 23 years. Listen, we talk about only 3 years. It's not only, it's 3 years.
Yeah.
People, it's 3 good years. It's 3 great years. It's not, people married, I've married 25 years. Are you happy though? Like, I don't care that you married 25 years if you and your spouse sleep in opposite rooms. Y'all don't have sex. Y'all don't go on dates.
Yeah.
We were at Valentine's Day at a restaurant, And this couple walked in, and you could tell it was like obligatory. I didn't take her out for Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
They were there for 45 minutes, and they were gone. He ain't put on no clothes. Like he just like it was like, what are you doing? Yeah. And so people. The misconception of one of them is that marriage is boring. Marriage, anything is what you make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Period. Anything what you make it.
I think another misconception is that you lose your freedom. You lose your identity.
Man, I just like to say, like, I can't go out like I used to.
On that. Speak
Hey,
on that.
go to Tony's house.
Speak on that.
Go to
Speak
Tony's
on
house
that.
real quick. I'll be
Speak
back.
on that. 'Cause I get guys at the gym like, let me go check in with the wife or let me check in with the hubby, and but yeah, go ahead.
So I understand, like, there is a level of let me check in.
Yeah.
Respectfully, and considering your spouse or whatever. But this falls in line again with what I said about being older and knowing who you are and choosing the right person. Having that conversation in the beginning, saying, this is who I am. I enjoy going out. Now, I'm not out here trying to find something new. I just like going out and listening to music or hanging with my friends or whatever the case may be. And if you know in the beginning when you're dating, for guys, because it's usually the women that have issue with that when the man wants to go out.
I'm like, bye. You said you're the girl night this weekend, right? I'm gonna go play this game real quick. I'm gonna go.
You'll see that. You'll see that early on, and you can get a temperature, a gauge for, okay, she's the type of person who's going to stifle who I am. Like, if you are able to prove that I can be faithful and committed to you and still be myself, then why not? So again, finding the right person, being in alignment with a person who accepts you for who you are.
I think we've gotten better
Because some people
with
are
that.
homebodies, and then if you're not a homebody, that's not gonna work. If like y'all said, the date nights work, but it's like we could do date nights sometimes in the house, but can we go out or listen to jazz or something? But if the person doesn't want to do that, then that does cause a friction.
Cause some friction for sure.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten better with this though, because there was a moment where I was like, I'm kind of scared to go out by myself. Like I can't, like I don't know how to ask the question to go out by myself because I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Her circle is much smaller than mine. So she's got like 3 friends, right? Like I'm not being funny, but like her best friend from college, her sister, like, and her uncle, right? So that's like her family. And we do a lot, almost everything together. But we've gotten to the place, I would say the last 3 months, where like I went out by myself. Now people in the city are like, where's Tracy? Where's Tracy? Where's Ryan? And I'm like, dang, I'm still an individual, bro. Like, I can be outside and not have my wife. No joke. We were out the other night. She was inside. I was outside. I was like, where's Tracy? She's at the door, right there.
Because they used to seeing y'all together.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So now she's getting a girl circle. So they have a once a month and they go out. In my mind, I'm like, that means I got one night to do whatever. Because something I didn't think about, and she brought it to my attention recently, is I don't get alone time.
Just alone time, not, hey, go hang out with whoever, just time alone by himself in the house, per se.
Yeah, because she works from home. So the weeks we don't have the kids, when I come home, she's there. The weeks we do have the kids, they're all there. So I don't have a moment of just being Ryan. So now we've gotten to a place like, okay, she got a girls' night Saturday. What am I going to do? And quite honestly, most of the time, it's nothing.
When I'm out with the
That's
girls,
the best
yeah.
times right there.
It's,
When you do
it's
nothing.
literally like
That's
at
the
the
best time.
crib, watching TV, playing the game, like literally nothing. And I feel like I should be doing something. Like it's gonna be nice this weekend, and I got the house to myself, where I can go out and do whatever. And I just typically do nothing. So we've gotten better with we've always been individuals in the marriage, but I think from the going out perspective or doing things on our own, we've gotten better with doing that individually. So it's been a cool little change.
And I'll add one more thing to that
Oh,
to
go
speak
ahead.
to the, finding the right, for guys, finding the right woman and being in alignment with somebody who accepts you for who you are. In those 3 months, the last 3 months, he came home. You went out 2 nights in a row because I had things to do too.
Yeah.
And after that second night, I sat him down and I was like, hey, so I've noticed that like when you do these particular things, like you come home like full. You come home just talking and about all the interactions you had and the people who poured into you and who you got to pour into. And I said, I really like that. I love that for you. So I think it's important that we continue, to at least once a month, try to find these things where we can be just ourselves without each other.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Ain't nothing going on. Ain't nothing wrong. Just you see me all by myself. You see her all by herself.
So basically,
we trying something new.
So basically, you can't lose yourself within the marriage.
No.
Right.
can't.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay. Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
not.
yeah.
But that's dope that y'all give each other grace to understand that, and you
Yeah.
have them. Both of you guys have the emotional intelligence because of what if one wanted to do and the other didn't understand it? Then you have these issues where they're thinking, "Oh, you trying to be in the streets? You trying to be in the club?" No, it's just I need my individual time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I'm gonna ask y'all this. 1 in 4 black women, and this is for the women, 1 in 4 black women will be married in a lifetime.
Wow.
1 in 4.
Is that a recent stat?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Never be married, you said?
Yeah, 1 in 4 will be married.
So three will not. One
Three will not.
marry.
Yeah. 3 will not, but only
Wow.
one out of that
4
Yeah.
will be married in a lifetime.
A lifetime. Yeah.
So let me make sure I question. Do you feel like
Wow.
black women have a difficult time being married because they're not ascribing to traditional gender roles? Or is it much more deeper than that? Like, what's the issue? Because when you look at all races of women, black women are the least married. Can you guys shine a little bit of light on that? Like, what's the issue with that? Why are black women the least married?
Well, I'll go first. I know there's multiple reasons because I've seen the study. Me and my friends talk about it. So one of it is we're choosing to marry within our race, and we are out. The numbers don't add up. It's way more black women than men.
Yeah,
they're either in prison, dead. They don't like women, whatever the case may be, which is to your choice. But it's the numbers aren't adding up, right? So that's one of it. The second part is that we are advancing. So we're the number one demographic, advancing in careers, education, making money, getting the bag, and different things of that nature. And we're trying to find sometimes some of the women, because I don't like to speak to all women, you're trying to find our equal. And it is harder when you have the average black male making what we said, $55,000 a year, right? And then you have a lot of black women that are educated in the most, in out of all the other demographics, especially leading in women, and we can't find our equal. And people, a lot of women are struggling with that. So, but I do know that it has been increasing when we do marry outside of our race. And we're more open-minded. So I wouldn't say it's based on us not subscribing to traditional gender roles, because I love gender roles, traditional. I know a lot of people who do, so I wouldn't say that, but there are a lot of different reasons. And we were raised different. We were just talking about that. So some black women, we were raised, because we have female friends of other races. They're in their culture, they're raised when they're young to get married right out of college, to seek a husband in college, things of that nature, be a mother, be a wife. Some of us, or most of us, were raised to go after our career. Like, you don't need a man, you want a man, right? And we were raised with those different things. I come from a 2-parent household, parents still married 40 plus years, because they know I always get the number for, I think 46 years, 47 years. But so I've seen that. I was brought up in a family where most of everybody was married. A lot of people I know are married. I have the examples in the community, right? But that's, and I know what that means, but a lot of us were raised to focus on career, education, things of that nature, and then get married a little later in life. And now we're like, okay, we're still waiting and things of that nature.
And that was going to bring me to my next question. Why, as black people, why do we wait so long to get married? And then when you and then when you look at other, I'm not saying all, but most of the other people, they get married a lot early. They build from there. But because I know my mentality used to be, I got to get my money right. I got to get this together. Like you said, I got to get these degrees and all that. But it's like, why we can't build together? And then we want somebody that's already at the finish line or already established. We want somebody already with the bag. But my thing is, you can always make more money. Why not just focus on getting with the right person, and you guys can build and develop together? Yeah. But we're not looking at it like that. We're looking at, okay, well, he better be this. He better have this. He better have all this. She better have this and all that. So we wait years and years and years before we even get there or even consider marriage.
I can't.
Let's talk about it.
I can't relate to that last statement.
Okay.
What?
No, go ahead.
I can't relate to that last statement. Because I'm a 44-year-old. I'm biracial. I'm mixed with Black and Chamorro. My dad's from Guam. So, and I've been married twice. I've been engaged before those 2 marriages before as well. So to piggyback off of something you said, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I saw my mom and my dad unhappily married. And my mom was a very strong, independent Black woman and raised me and my sister to be the exact same. And my husband says a lot more is caught than taught. And because she never taught us. She never said, get a man, don't get a man. We just watched her. And we watched her not need my dad. We watched my dad try and push away. Like, I don't need you. I got this. Don't even worry about it. And I just knew that I didn't want that for myself. Now, I have been that type of woman in my lifetime. Not with him. And if I was that woman, it would not work. And I know that. But I think a lot of women in today's society are they're not women, Black women are not getting married because of that headstrong mentality, that I don't need you mentality that was shown to them, taught to them, whatever the case. Not saying that they don't want it, but they don't know how to receive it. And so that guard, that hard exterior that they put off is off-putting to men.
Yeah.
Men across the board, whatever race you are,
Soft women.
Yeah.
they want a woman. And people get in trouble. Women get in trouble with like submission and all that. That's what they want.
That's what
And
they
it's
want.
funny you mentioned that before I cut you. I'm gonna let you finish in a second. I know this one Black. He dates outside of his race, and I asked him a question. I said, "You don't like Black women?" He said, "Man, I love Black women." But the Black women that I was dating, they was very headstrong. You know, I didn't see enough femininity. And so when I did date outside of my race, they represented traits that I saw in my mother that I would want in a marriage or in a relationship. But he said it's not because he doesn't love Black women and doesn't value Black women. Sometimes that's a misconception because they see a Black man dating outside his race. Oh, you don't like yourself. Oh, you got identity issues. You don't like Black women. And it's not even nothing about that.
It's not that at all.
It depends on the person, because some men are like that and they'll tell you, but some aren't. Yeah. Some men will tell you.
Yeah.
They're like, why you with Becky? Why you with her?
Yeah,
Like,
I almost said something crazy, but I'm gonna let it rock.
go ahead.
I don't speak this way publicly. So you said something earlier, and I use this a lot. The pool is smaller.
Yeah.
Like
numbers.
statistically,
For us, yeah.
the facts of Black women who go to
I'm
college
off of you.
and so you go in school 30 years. Because you go into elementary, you go into college, you go get your MBA, your doctorate. So now you 35
Yeah.
and want to start a family, and most of us got kids or been married, and the pool of women in general is larger than the male population.
Yeah.
Period. And we date outside. If we date outside our race,
Oh, that's
the
even
pool
worse.
is wide open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of women don't understand, like, your numbers ain't. The math ain't math.
That's what I say.
Like you
Yeah.
legit. The things that you're requiring. First of all, most people can't. The people that not most. Some people that are requiring these things of the man they date don't have them themselves. You can't take yourself to Roost Chris every week. Stop it. Like relax. But like stop it. But really, just understanding the metrics. Your person might not be in Charlotte or the city that you live in.
Yeah.
Or the country.
Or
you
6
may have
foot
to-
tall.
You may
Let's
have to
start there.
you may have to relocate. Like legit.
This is funny, but again,
I'm scared of what you gonna say next.
so again, we said I've been married before. I was married to a woman.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's what I thought you were going earlier.
Oh no, I was married to a woman, and so like when we were going through our divorce, I told the Lord, I told the universe everything that I wanted, but
And
I
a
never
person.
said I want a woman who does this or a man who does this. I was just like, they are going to be XYZ. They're going to do this. They're going to like this, whatever the case may be. And lo and behold, this man showed up, and I was like,
Ryan from Red Lobster.
It's a man.
You ain't what?
It's a man.
Ryan
Okay.
from Red Lobster. That's what I was.
Yeah.
So your focus was, you know what, God, just find me my person. Just
My person.
Let me get with the right person. I don't give a, if whether he makes 6 figures or whatever. Damn that. If you give me the right person, we'll figure everything else out. Give me the right person. And I hear very few people with that mindset. It's always everything is on conditions. Well, if they have this, if they have that, they have that. Then you could be worth my time instead of just saying, you know what, God, just put the right people, just give me the right person.
My list of things, because we've talked about this on our series before, like I wrote it out. None of them talk about his income. None of them talk about the way that he looks, how tall he is.
I mean, I am still 6'1".
I mean,
A little sexy.
Yeah.
I'm at Zaddy status now. I got a little gray on my beard.
I got more than I asked
Well,
for.
wait, Tracy, because you're tall. You didn't.
I'm six. I'm not
5'10".
I'm 5'10".
But you always wear heels.
Oh, I
and
always wear
heels. And so you're telling the ladies, because they need to hear this, that
Okay.
even you at your height, you didn't have a requirement for it has to be like above 6 feet.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Even in dating prior, I've dated people who are shorter than me. It doesn't matter. I want to know: are you a good person? Are you going to take care of me? Are you going to cover me and protect me and all?
Pray
that you
for
do?
me. Yep.
Like that's it.
But you could have not accepted it. Like, so for instance, we talk about like what you wanted in a person, right? You could have not accepted the fact that it was Ryan from Red Lobster and I was a man.
I could have,
And
I would have missed out.
even
on
in
my
dating,
blessing.
even in dating, it was like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like this might be too good to be true. Like how does this? So you have to be open to receive and be in a position and a posture to receive. I say it all the time. My happiness is not contingent upon hers and vice versa. My peace is not contingent upon hers and vice versa. We were already doing the work individually. I'm happy.
It's nothing.
She's
Already
happy.
doing the work individual. I like
Yep.
that.
Together we're happier. So and most people are not doing the work. They're not going to therapy. They're not reading. They're not doing self-help. They're not going to church. Like my spirituality is a huge portion of my life, and I've never put that on her. But as a result of, I would say, my example and how she sees God work in my life, she's done some things this year that she'd never done before, like paying tithes. She got baptized. Like we hosted a group. Like, you know what I'm saying? So talking about dating on potential, like I don't know that that's what that's going to be. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do as a man. And a lot of times people aren't accountable for their own actions. And so we talk about more caught than taught. That works in your marriage too. Which camera am I looking at? It works in your marriage too, right? So if you come home and you go upstairs and you in a room for 3 hours and you don't talk to your spouse, what's she going to do? Come home and do the same thing. Now y'all living separately. So it's not the kids that just catch everything. It's your spouse. It's your mate. It's your cousin. It's like we talk about relationship. It's called relationship talk. It's not about man, woman. It's not about dating. It's about relationships. This is a relationship. Y'all come to my house. That's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we are in a place where it's just like we asked for something. It came probably quicker than most people thought it should have come. But if I'm asking God for a blessing, he blessed me in 2 weeks instead of 2 years. Am I going to turn it away?
I love that.
That's awesome. And that's why we started this podcast. I didn't want it just from a woman's point of view or a man's point of view. I said, you know what? Let's understand each other better. Let's let's commit to each other more. Let's put the conversation out there, and then we'll see what we take from it, because somebody can learn from this. You know what I mean? Now, you guys are very successfully married, because I feel like there's a difference between being married and successfully married.
Yeah.
But let's keep it a bean too. We got to get there first. You know what I mean? So let me ask y'all a question. When you look at the black community, the state of black men and black women, when you look at the black community as a whole, do y'all feel like we suffer from a case of commitment issue when it comes to black community? Are we committed to each other enough to even get to that level? Because obviously we're less than 30% married. So it's like, what's the challenge here with each other? Because I feel like, are we even position ourselves to even get there?
Pride and ego.
That's a good one.
Wow. Women don't like submission. I don't want to submission. I ain't doing. No joke. Because of how well I take care of her. 2:00 in the morning one night, I was hungry. I said, I want tacos. No joke. 2 a.m. It was during the week. She got up and made tacos because I said I was hungry and I wanted tacos. That doesn't come because I had great sex. Yeah, we have great sex, but it comes because I've poured into her so much that she's going to do whatever she possibly can to help me. Now, her ego and her pride, man, I ain't making no, it's 2 in the morning. I ain't making no time. I ain't making nothing.
I got you tomorrow,
make a sandwich.
I got you tomorrow.
Better go, but she understands when we first started dating, I said, I want a woman that's going to cook 3 nights a week. That is a requirement of mine.
So you put that out there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Respect.
I couldn't cook.
She could not cook.
Okay, so how did that?
TikTok University.
Yeah.
So literally, if you can't cook for your mate 3 out of 7, 42% of the time, your mate asks you to cook,
Yeah.
and you say no, or you don't want to. You could tell a story about. I ain't gonna tell it for you, but like, it's just ego and pride. Like we don't have that. We talked about gender roles too. Like I'm not gardening, I'm not cutting grass. It's not gonna happen. We had that conversation too. We're about to buy this house. It'll be a bill, a line item on the budget, unless you want to do it. I'm not pulling weeds. Have I done some? Yes, because they're eyesore. But that's not my makeup. I wasn't, and if I go back to childhood, I played outside, but I didn't like getting dirty. I didn't like getting my hands dirty. I used to eat French fries with a fork because I didn't want to get touched on my fingers.
Can you fix things around the house?
Like what?
Just
No.
things around the house. So that's a no.
Define things.
Okay, so you can't fix any. Like
No, the
So,
garage was broken one day.
Let me, funny story. And
Can you fix them?
no, he cannot.
Okay.
So like in the first house that we lived together as a blended family, the garage door wouldn't it wasn't opening or something. And
You still
I knew
heard the motor? Did you see hear the motor in
Yeah,
there?
it was. I could hear it, and I grew up in the country, so we know how to do a lot of things. But I knew what it was, but I knew I couldn't do it because I didn't have the tools. I didn't, whatever. So we called the maintenance man. He came, and the maintenance man called Ryan out to the garage to tell him, so if this happens again, this is what you need to do. And he was like, hold on a second. Babe, come here. Tell her. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
And we had like a little wiggly doorknob to the garage to go out to the garage. And so it would legit,
Fall off.
the screw would come loose and the doorknob would fall off.
I
And
mean, I
would-
do know how to do that part, but
and it was
I
on the
still
inside of
didn't.
the house, but he would send a text on his way out for work and be like, the doorknob fell off, you got to put it back on. Because he doesn't know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm very handy, but you put me in the kitchen, I'm a deer in headlights. I don't know how to cook.
See,
I
I
can
cook
make me a
though.
bologna
Yeah,
sandwich.
I cook.
I can scramble an egg.
That's it.
I'm
He
just
can
not big in the
cook.
kitchen.
Yeah.
See, I'm insecure when I'm in the kitchen because it's like
Go to TikTok.
butter and some rice, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing, but we all have our strong suits.
So yeah, he can cook and he can clean. He doesn't have to, but he can.
But the important thing that everybody should pick up is that you guys had these conversations when you were
Yeah.
dating, and when things arise in the marriage, you communicate, because that's half the battle. People don't have these conversations when they're dating. It's a lot of assumptions being made, right? And then when you're in the relationship, because I know people who struggled with the gender roles and everything, especially when kids come along, when they don't know how to articulate it to each other. Now it's an issue that you can't do something. Or I asked you, I wasn't being funny when I asked you, could you fix? Because my dad's like that. He can't fix nothing around the house, but he gonna call he gonna pay for whoever to do whatever. You know, my mom sometimes will wait for me to come home to Pittsburgh to put stuff together because I'm real good with putting stuff together and everything. My dad's like, I'm not doing none of that. I will pay for it. So as long as you take care of it, then that's what we need.
I got a cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Once a month, do a deep clean.
I'll get it done.
It is what
I'll
it
get it
is.
done.
I got,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
hey, it
So
is what it
as long
is.
as you take care of it.
But let me ask y'all this. But when it comes to black dating, and maybe you can highlight a little bit, everyone can. Do you feel like when it comes to dating each other, this is before we even get to the marriage, do y'all feel like our expectations are too high when it comes to dealing with each other concerning dating?
I told you before, usually, especially nowadays, a lot of people look at their standards ideology or idealistically, but actually who they end up with is totally different. I think now with so much social media influence and what we see, it just kind of tarnished and like how we look at our standards and stuff, and so much access. So, and like I said before, we all like there's still a lot of resentment that we still have that we just need to just try to uncover. And I think that's one of the big major barriers like between black dating.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say from a woman's perspective that what I see on social media, which we know is just highlight reels and all the things, and people just doing things for views. But at the same time, I think a lot of women are thinking this. But I think women do have a set of expectations that are, from my opinion, ridiculous. For instance, like, I need him to make all the money and pay all the bills. Okay.
Crazy.
Crazy work.
So, okay, that might be crazy work. That might be crazy work. But they have a certain mind in mind, and a certain man in mind. He makes $200K or more or whatever, because that's how much you need to live in just a basic life nowadays. But if a man is doing, like, for me, my mentality is if a man is doing all of that for me, he has to do nothing else. Like, when you come home,
Right.
you don't lift a
That's
finger.
the trade-off.
you help with these kids. You're gonna do your daddy part, but everything else, you're taking care of everything. I am making this house a home. It is peaceful for you. It is so many things, but I don't think women are willing to give that when they're asking. They're thinking, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna be a baddie, and that's all I gotta do. No, baby.
You know how many baddies get cheated on?
Oh yeah.
Look at Hollywood.
Oh man.
But even with that, okay, you want the guy that makes $200K. Guess what? He's probably not gonna be home that often.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you deal with the fact that he's out making money and not spending time with you and the kids at the house? So yeah, you can get the $200K and you could be the baddie, but you might be alone for 12 hours a day. Are you gonna be able to sustain a marriage not seeing your husband? Like I think the expectations of I ain't gonna say they're too high, but like it's not that hard. Like men and women are literally made for each other. Women are made from a man, literally.
Yeah.
So there's no way that God can put two people on earth and all they do is fight and bicker the whole time. No, you have free will. Like he's a gentleman, right? You have free will, so you can decide whether you're gonna cook that man a meal at 2 a.m. or not. Either way, your decision is gonna have an outcome. I don't say consequence, but an outcome, right? And so you do that 3 times in a week, you ain't giving him none, and you ain't cooking, then he gonna resent you. Or vice versa.
Because he gonna look at that, he gonna say, you know what, sex is great, all this stuff, but then he gonna come to his senses, you know what else does she have to offer?
Yeah,
and when he really start being smart, he gonna say, yeah, this ain't that.
I also don't think single people listen to successful married people. We have an entire
I wouldn't say all
relationship.
single people.
Some. Not all. I don't like absolutes. I'm not gonna say all. But
just say so.
I'm doing an event in next month, and it was conversations similar to this, but everybody's single, and I'm the only married person. And it's like, if you want to be married, we had an event. And people would not come. People I'm not coming to the event because I'm not married. How do you get married?
How you
if
learn?
you're not listening to married people that are successful? We done did it twice. So collectively in relationships, if you talk about both of our marriages in a timeline, I was with my ex off and on 15 years, married 7. She's with hers 10, married 5. Now we're married 3, been together 4. We got a little bit of experience in this arena, and we're available enough or attractive enough or whatever enough to have somebody want to marry us twice again. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's something to listening to sound wise counsel of married people when you're single. And so being single in the world today, like I think the reason we're successful and going to be big is because people don't see the real. They don't see the real marriage. We talk about the bad stuff online too. It's not just the good stuff. So we share, I'm struggling with this, and she brought this to my attention, but I still haven't quite grasped how to do it yet. Like, we share all those things. So as a single person, I would look to somebody that's having a successful marriage to say, what are y'all doing? Which is why we have events. It's 80 people at our house because they want to be around that energy and they want to have a conversation and they want to learn. So I think as single people, especially in the Black community, like, we really do got to figure out whatever it is. I'm saying overall, like, if you're dating, you really got to figure out what the hiccup is.
Yeah, and I think it's important as single people to not, because you were right, we need to look to people who are married because it's a community, and that if that's what we want to be, right? People who are lawyers want to, in law school, you're looking to get
mentorship,
mentors from lawyers, right? But you don't have to agree with everything the couple says. Right. What works for you might not works for them, vice versa. You can take nuggets from different people,
absolutely,
but having that guidance and different in the mentorship and I like what y'all said, that y'all are real, because there are some married people who they're not real. They're not transparent. And my married friends, I love them. I tell them, like, I love how transparent y'all are. Y'all are like, V, this is what it's going to be like. They let me know, the gritty. And they're like, no, don't be in delusion. You gon', things. And it prepares me for that, because I'm not going in there blind like, oh, it's good. Like, no. And then, because that happens a lot. Yeah. And so we need the married people who are out there and want to be giving advice and putting stuff on Facebook, don't just always show the good things. Talk about the deep things that are going on. Talk about the challenges. Talk about what it took to overcome. And so it's more realistic. And then it'll help people understand, okay, when I'm doing my due diligence, I know that I want somebody who, like I have a married friend, I've talked about this before, they were young when he got hit by a car accident and got his whole life changed. And she had to be his caregiver. And they were late 30s, early. And she's still with it. And I was just like, yo, we love her because she really showed us all what a true helpmate wife would be. When you talk about sickness and health, there's a lot of people that would have left. Her whole life and her boy's life changed. She had to be the parent for both of them, right? For her sons. And so we saw that. And there's a lot of people. So that made me do my due diligence of when you talk about have a list and your non-negotiables, I'm looking at integrity. I don't want somebody that's going to run out if something, I get cancer and I don't put, or we deal with illnesses all the time.
Yeah.
And people run out, they cheat. You might have phases in your marriage where you can't have sex. I know people because somebody was very sick. You can't have sex for 6 months. Are you going to be the man that's going to cheat on me? And I'm fighting for my life on my deathbed. Those are things that we need to think about if you're talking about sustaining and you want to be married until you leave this world. We can't look at it for 5 years or just what it looks like right now. We need to look at like, what is it going to take for me to be married for 10, 20 years and really think of that.
And I think that's kind of what I was alluding to when we were saying instead of dating for today, dating for who they're going to be down the line, to sustain kind of that relationship. So that's kind of
think of things that might happen.
That's kind of what I was
I get that.
kind of alluding to. So let me ask you guys something. I got a question for you guys. So and I respect you guys more because you guys have been married before.
Yes.
And you had enough courage and enough heart to do it again.
A lot of people don't do it again.
Climate.
So what are the similarities? What are the similarities and differences between your first marriage and now your second?
Jesus. How much time we got?
We got some time.
Wait a minute. We on the clock. 20 minutes.
You want to go?
No. Go ahead. I want to gather my thoughts.
I didn't mean to get deep on it. I got to get.
Being married to a woman is not any different than being married to a man. Like you're just married. It's still a marriage.
Oh, really?
It just happens to be a woman. Like we still have roles and we still take care of kids and we still pay bills together. Like it was a legitimate marriage. But like he said, he gave an example of how submissive I am to him per se about cooking for him at 2 a.m. It has been that way since literally day one. It does not matter what this man asks me. I'm going to make it happen. I can't even say, I don't know why it is that way. I adore him. I love him and he loves me. It's just something that I'm willing to do for him. In my last marriage, you're asking for a comparison. In my last marriage, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I was making a burger.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Yeah.
Her best friend was at the house downstairs in the kitchen with me, watching me cook. And she came downstairs because she was in the shower or something. And like, I feel my eyes rolling in the back of my head right now just from the frustration of it. That's just how like dysfunctional the relationship was. And she was like, can you saute some onions for my burger? And I caught such the nastiest attitude. Now, mind you, she wasn't pouring into me. I wasn't pouring into her. I was not nice to her.
Okay.
I was empty.
Okay.
And blaming it on her that I was empty. So I was not nice. But anyway, I had the nastiest attitude because you asked me to do just a little step extra.
I was about to ask Tracy, is it easy for you to be submissive because Ryan knows how to lead you?
Ooh.
Because I love to say that men always scream about women want us to be submissive, but they don't know a damn thing about leadership. And we need more men to lead.
I can say yes. He makes it easy for me to be submissive and walk in my femininity and all of those things. But also I had to like let him. Right. I'm an alpha female. I've always been in charge in every relationship. I've been, even like with men, I still was like, nope, we're doing
most
this.
men struggle with alpha female, so I commend you because a lot of dudes struggle with the alpha female. Like, man, I ain't dealing with this, but it could be done.
But it's his personality. It's who he is.
Now I'm like, I don't want to think. I don't want to have
Thank
to
you.
choose. Like, please do it for me.
Thank you.
That's it. And it works. It works for us.
Thank you. I just wanted you to confirm that because men are always talking about we don't submit. Yeah, that's part of it because we have to check our ego at the door. But we need men to lead. And as a daddy's girl, we're taught you can't submit to any man. Sorry. You can't have any man lead you off a cliff. You have to have wisdom and know, because we are helpmates. I believe in that role, right? Of who you're submitting to. But so it does start with a heart posture of submission. I agree with that in your mind state. But there's a lot of men who don't know how to lead, and that's important. Lead in the households, and we know why that's happened because men were pulled from the households from slavery and everything. So but that's where we need men. Like a lot of women are dying for men to step up.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Let's talk about that's a real conversation.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I just get one colorful example.
Yeah, I think so. I don't compare. I recognize and I'm aware of the differences, but I was a different person then. I'm a different person now. I'm a different person, than I was 4 years ago.
But would you say your previous marriage prepared you for the woman you have in front of you based on the experience?
No, but my therapist would say it's a curriculum for my life. I never say my marriage was a failure.
Okay.
So it's a curriculum for my life. So I take things that I learned or things that I did well or didn't do well, and I tweak them. But again, I also feel differently about Tracy than I did my previous marriage, right? So because of those feelings and the way that we are, I do more. I wasn't a bad husband. I was probably a better father, but I wasn't the greatest husband I could be. Now, that can be from compatibility or, just the fact that at that time I was doing, no joke, man, I talk about being exhausted. Like I was probably doing 4 jobs. Like I was serving tables. At one point I was stay-at-home dad for 13 months. I was doing TV. I had a 9-to-5. I was running my nonprofit. I was literally hand making T-shirts and hoodies at the house. So anything Black Fathers Rock that you've seen, I literally ordered the fabric or ordered the shirts, went to pick them up, pressed them myself. Like I was doing all these things. So I really I didn't have much at the end of the day because of all that I was doing. So the helpmate piece matters. Like I work at the restaurant every once in a blue moon. Like I'm re-releasing some things, but I now have the capacity to do so. So I would think I don't put this on her or anybody when it comes to my last marriage. It's more of who I was, who I've become, what adjustments I've made, not excuses, only adjustments, right? So it's different. So I don't compare the two, but I think where I was in my life at that point and where I am in my life now are vastly different. From my focus on what having a career. At that time, I was kind of a starving artist, right? Struggling entrepreneur, hustling books out my trunk, styling here and there, work at the restaurant, all those different things. Now, pretty decent income. I don't have a 9-to-5, but I have a day job, an evening job, but I have more time to pour. I have more time to be poured into, and I didn't have that capacity or the energy back then. And so it's just different.
I'm gonna add one more point to the comparison or non-comparison, really. Advice for women. One of the reasons why my previous relationship didn't work was because we ended up finding out that we didn't like each other. And he made that point earlier, we like each other. So when I started dating Ryan, I shifted my mindset as a girl, per se, that I'm not going into this trying to make him like me, which is what women are trying to do. I want you to see me. I want you to enjoy my company. And then we put ourselves in this box and I'm going to be what he wants me to be. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I need to figure out if I like this man. Do I like him?
Genuinely.
Do I like
him? Yeah.
And so that's been one of the reasons why people see us out everywhere and ask, where's Tracy or where's Ryan? Because when you're with us, you can tell, man, they really like each other. Like they love each other. This is so cool. And it works. And
definitely energy exchange. Yeah.
Let me show. I'm gonna go real quick. I'm gonna go culture real quick. When you look at the music that's playing, like even back in the '90s, you had the R&B songs, the Brian
Miss it.
McKnights.
Reaching for this.
You had Mint Condition. You had everybody singing about love,
in the
togetherness. But I'm gonna say something, man. A lot of what you guys are saying is beautiful, man. I'm in awe. But when you listen to our music today, you look at these TV shows they're putting on. You look at these movies. That's not being promoted as it used to be. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that plays an impact on us having the ability to marry each other and be in successful relationships just based on the culture, based on what we see in movies, what we see in TV shows, what we hear in our music? My booty hole's brown. I'm going to put something in my... crazy word.
That's actually an old song, too. There's a song back in the day that had those same lyrics, FY.
But do y'all feel like... and this can go to anybody. Do y'all feel like a lot of that impacts, our ability, how we view relationships and how we look at each other when it comes to marriage and relationships? Y'all think?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, we grew up on the Cosby shows and all those different
different world.
Different world and things of that nature. And now we have like love and hip hop and reality TV has taken over. And so and we've talked about it before, especially when people can't separate social media from reality. And a lot of people can't, so that's what they're seeing. Or you see it on the Shade Room all the time when they'll say, couples goals, when you see these different celebrities and then 2 months later, or like you said, they divorced, or when you said it's only 3 years. But everybody knows the first 5 years of a marriage is the hardest, because you're so individual trying to come together as one.
And blended
so for you to
too.
say 3 years, no, that's amazing. 3 to 4 years, because you're making it through the hardest time in your marriage or whatever. So it is. The culture has made it harder for people to see those examples, especially if they didn't grow up in their communities or in their households seeing like those positive examples. Yeah.
So yes, to a degree.
Yeah.
But here's what I know. You have your response is your responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a single family home with my mom without my dad.
Okay.
And I think I'm a great dad. Right? Yeah. So I could have taken that as an excuse to say, well, my daddy wasn't there, so I ain't gonna be there. Or my daddy left, so I'm gonna leave. I chose not to do that. My brother and I both chose to say, we will not be statistics. We will get married first and we will have kids. And by the grace of God, that was the order. So you know what I'm saying? Like that was something that we determined in ourselves that we are going to do this. And so, yes, I think a certain age of maturity, if you can't listen to certain music without being influenced negatively, then don't listen to that music.
Right.
If you're single and you trying to abstain from marriage, you listening to Summer Walker and whoever else that's got an R&B love song is not going to help you stay celibate. So you have a choice to make. Like, you can let TV influence you. You can let the media influence you.
See, you're similar to me though. Everybody, you'd be surprised. Some people can't separate the entertainment from that's just entertainment. I like the beat, but this is how I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
I listen to ratchet music all the time.
So do I.
Gucci, Jeezy, Gucci. I ain't carrying no gun and shooting up nobody. I got chains now. But that's all I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm not going to prison. I can't be a great dad and a great husband if I'm in prison.
Right.
Like, that don't make no sense. So why would I let that influence me to do something or not do something? So just be grown. I think there is a part, but I think you have a choice to make. And you all, again, are given free will. Everybody's given free will. So you have a choice to make, and you can choose your path. So choose your path. It's going to be hard either way. Staying in a marriage is hard. Leaving marriage is hard. Yeah. Choose your heart.
I know one thing. When I do get married one day, all of you guys gonna be at my wedding, and I definitely want you guys there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'll come MC the reception.
But so let me ask you guys this: when it comes to the future, what do you guys see marriage? Do y'all see? And I'm just saying, and I'm just talking within the Black community. Do y'all see marriage rates increasing versus declining now? And as far as future, do you see it getting better or do you see it getting worse? And I'm gonna just go around. I'm gonna start with you, Hafiz, and then we're gonna go around.
His head.
Why do you see it getting? Why not? And if you say no, why?
Please don't say deregulated.
Because
Deregulated market.
I'm trying not to talk too much because I'm still a little under. I think it's that's why I say I commend anybody that's able to get married in today's dating climate. And I'm not gonna say it's gonna get better or worse. You just got to evolve with the times. We've just become especially in our community, we've just become so counter dependent of each other a lot of times. Like women can take care of themselves. They buying homes and they said women are a majority head of household, like women and children out here, so, and guys are, and if the industry is telling men that men have to be better, a lot of men have just stopped approaching women in general. Like they're just focusing on themselves. The economy is crazy. It's gotten too expensive. I'm going to get my bread. I'm going to do me. And if a woman comes in here, then I'm just going to figure it out. So you got a lot of that energy going on here. So I don't know.
You said something interesting. It's almost like we've gotten comfortable with not needing each other.
Yeah,
but we need each other.
Yeah.
But it's almost like we need each other the most. But we've
Right
gotten
now,
so comfortable not needing each other. Wow.
That makes me think of something that happened one time with us. I hope it's in the same vein of what the topic we're talking about, but we were arguing to a degree.
Were we arguing or were you yelling at me? There's a difference.
And we weren't talking to each other that day, walking around the house. And I think we were in our bedroom, and I said, look.
You came in the bathroom. Yep.
I said, look, we can't keep doing this. I don't want to walk around the house like you don't exist, and it doesn't feel good that you're walking around that way either, because at my core I need you, and I need us to be okay. And it sounds dependent, like codependent, but it's not. Like I need us to be okay so the rest of our world is okay, because we're at the bottom of everything, and if we're shaky, these kids going to get parents with attitudes. Our jobs are not going to get us to a full capacity. I'm not cooking. So like we got to figure this out. So today's society, people do think that they don't need each other, and that's sad to me.
It is.
And it's perpetuated over and over again on our phones and TVs and radio and everything. So I don't see a bright outlook.
But people tell us all the time, especially those old married couples who've been married for 40 years and they've been married 40 years, that's all, that, oh, y'all are newlyweds, y'all still in the honeymoon phase, it'll die down, blah, 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 blah. We don't subscribe to that. The honeymoon phase can be the honeymoon phase as long as I want the honeymoon phase to be the honeymoon phase.
True.
She talked about, people say all the time, pick your battles. My wife said, why do we have to battle? Like all the stuff that y'all learn, all these sayings and idioms and all that, like you don't have to operate because someone told you that. Like legit, we will never stop dating. I don't care if we're 15 years in, 5, 20, like is dating expensive? Sure. Or it's an investment in your marriage. Like you can choose how you want to look at it. Like
and you can get creative with dating too.
When I wasn't working, man, we was at the house watching TV, making crab legs. Crab legs was less expensive back then than going out to eat or making a real dinner. Like I can get crab legs for $20. I get like 2 pounds. I'm good for like 2 days. So I think it's important that, I don't know what's going to get worse or better, but what I do know is you have a choice in the matter. And you can choose to get better individually, and don't get better individually to get married. That's another mistake people make. Like I got to get to a certain place so I can get married. No. You gotta get to a certain place so you can get to a certain place as a human being, as a person. And then you get to that place, and then you can bring somebody else in. But if you jacked up, stop trying to bring people in.
Because you're gonna throw them off guard, throw them off course.
It waste time. Time is the one thing in life you cannot get back. And I'm not gonna waste time on somebody or something that I don't want to be in or that doesn't value me. Like I'm not doing that.
I just want to piggyback off. That's the reason why we having these chocolate conversations to continue to
chocolate conversations.
Just to continue to just like enlighten, educate, people the pros of being married, and that's why we have you all here. So thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do something real fun, real quick. This is really quick. It's gonna be like a true or false thing. But
Okay.
True or false? A lot of women want to be married, but not a lot of women want to be wives.
True. We just talked about that.
Absolutely.
Do you want to be a wife or do you just want a husband? Go look that up. It's on Facebook, Instagram.
When people get married and they say those vows, do they really know what they're reading? Or are they just going through the motions? So then when they get in their marriage and things go left, but when you read the vows, are they really reading those vows? True or false?
I don't know if that's true or false. I think for me it's like you say it, but once you experience it, it's different. So like talk about sickness and health. Thankfully, we don't have any major sicknesses, but like down with the flu for 2 weeks, down with the flu for a week, like your dynamic in the house is going to change. Are you going to be a jerk when your wife is sick or vice versa because she's sick? Like she's sick.
Or rich or poor.
What are you gonna do when I don't have a full-time job and I gotta go back to hustling legally? I don't sell drugs. Legal hustling, like what does that look like? That's gonna change the dynamic of your marriage. And so you can say, oh, it's not, but when you feeling it, when you're in the moment, when you have to experience those things, it's going
find out what you're made of,
find out who you are
and who your person is.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, one more. True or false? When men get on the same page, when men and women get on the same page and start needing each other more, marriage rates will increase in the Black community.
Maybe.
I say yes.
True.
I mean, if
And I
10
put that out
couples-
there for a reason.
Let me
it's
ask
like,
this. I want to be a little bit deeper.
Okay.
When you say same page, are we talking financially, mentally, or what are we, or just all
Financially
in
and mentally, yeah.
together?
Because sometimes I do feel like we don't value each other's issues. You know, especially when you look at men, you know, the average man, you know, he focused on his family, doing his thing. But when you look at other, like with women that get behind each other with women issues. But do you really see enough Black men getting behind Black men issues? You don't really see that a whole lot. But I feel like if we get on the same page, because we're supposed to be leaders of our community, like she said, lead more, would that make a big difference, not only in the households, with higher marriage rates, with being in more successful relationships?
Yes.
Yeah. That, and if we better understand each other too. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in.
Yeah. Same page. Yeah.
But some of that, and I know we got to go, but like understanding is one thing, but there are times you just have to accept. And I think people don't know how to accept certain things. Like you may not understand the fact that I'm a socialite and I used to club 5 nights a week. But at some point you have to accept that I like to entertain people. And so you can either hate me for entertaining and resent me for me being who I am.
Or have 85 people in your house.
Or you can have 85 people in your house doing the electric slide at 1 o'clock on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
love it.
Popping too. You hear me? Popping.
they're soirees.
That's why I'm the same way.
Soirees.
I'm the same way when it comes out. I'm an entertaining guy.
Yeah.
And I guess it just kind of goes together too when you like, because the girls I've talked to in the past kind of been a little more introvert. So they know. Yeah. So.
Man, this has been a hell of a show, man.
This is great, man.
Yeah.
This is
Yo,
amazing.
I had a good time.
Man, this has been a hell of a show, but we're going to move on to the next section of the show, which is hot topic, hot steak and mess of the day.
Oh, we still got.
Now let me describe this to you guys.
What we
really
got?
quick.
What we got now?
Now, the hot steak and mess of the
I
day
missed
is
this
a topic, a trending topic that's going on in the
God.
world today. And it's
something I just saw
hot
was
mess.
like, yeah.
And we basically present it to the forefront, and you guys just give your own opinion. It could be
Okay.
anything going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Hafiz.
So going to the topic that we have, a girl had went viral, right? She basically posted her situation, and a lot of people thought some backlash on it. She basically was saying how she's married and has a husband, but her lights are cut off at her home, and she feels like she's entitled to have her baby father help pay to pay the lights back on. So a lot of people been going back and forth like, what? Huh? Don't you have a husband? Did you have a whole husband? Like, why is it now the baby father, the ex's responsibility? So she went viral. The video was all on TikTok and everything. So a lot of people giving her backlash, some good and bad for it.
She
So,
and to add more context, she said responded that her and the husband are going through some hard times, and
Yes.
because they got kids there,
Yes.
the baby daddy should want to have the lights on where they live.
where they live.
Because
But
she's
you
a mother of his
She's
children.
the mother of
Right,
his
right.
children. Yeah.
Ah, that ain't his.
So it's one of those situations where I'm like, I don't have the answer for that. Like, what? Like, is she entitled to ask for this?
Well, that's
Or-
the problem.
Crazy.
Everybody
She
want to be
thinks she
entitled.
entitled.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. Like,
Yeah.
my commitment when I left my ex was to my children. That is it. I don't have to do anything
Right.
for you. Like, yes, am I gonna hold up my end of the bargain for the kids? Yeah. But I'm not paying no.
The light bill.
Yeah.
How much is that light bill?
It's probably up there. It just got cut off.
You gotta be behind like 4 or 5 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah, winter time. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's crazy,
Yeah.
but I think that mentality speaks to society that we have right now. Like, you feel like because y'all got, and you can spin it any way you want, but like you got a whole husband.
No, but there was a lot of women in the comments saying like, "Nah, you wrong." Like, either he needs to take, because they was like, he could easily take the kids and be like, "We're gonna stay." There wasn't really too many people saying, "Oh yeah, girl, he should pay."
Okay, good.
No, there was a lot.
I didn't see that, but I was.
I saw it. It was crazy
That's
because she was going off about it too.
Yeah.
Like, why shouldn't he pay our bills? His kids are here.
She got a husband. That's what she got a husband for. No.
And then this is not a knock. Please, if we go viral for this, I'm giving my disclaimer. As a man, you should be doing whatever you can do for your children. Period. Yeah. Right? Or your wife. Like, I'm not going to sit around and let something get cut off.
Right.
I'm going to go figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get another job. I'm going to go sell these clothes out my closet like I used to. Like, I'm going to hit the streets legally again. Not a drug dealer. Like,
do what you gotta do.
I'm going to go and get it so that my house doesn't go without.
Yeah.
You behind on your lights 4, 5, 6 months, that's when they cut off. Yeah. So what have you all been doing the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months? Not judging anybody. Listen, I grew up on food stamps, WIC, whole 9 yards, right? Grew up in the hood. Understand all that. But when it come time to go get it, I'm not letting nothing. Yeah. When I had to borrow, and I tell story all the time, we first moved to our house. We had just got married, moved to the first house. And I didn't have a job. I didn't have a full-time job. And I borrowed $1,000 from a coworker so we can make sure we paid our rent. And I went back to hustling. I went back to doing what I know how to do, getting out here, serving tables, making clothes, like styling, like hosting it, whatever I can do to make sure we had food. Was it a struggle? Yes. Stop going to the barbershop. She stopped getting her nails done. Like, we made sacrifices, but I did all that for the family. And now we live in the new house, which is great and wonderful.
Congratulations.
But, thank you. It took like, I'm a dude.
You a leader.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
This is what I'm talking about.
The dictionary. I looked up the word dictionary. Husband, band, keeping the family good. I didn't realize it. Like, I looked at it deeply. Husband, like really looking at what that term. And I think when people get married, they need to understand what is a husband. What does wife mean? What does that mean in the dictionary? I think if people really understand what that means.
Because I was trying to figure out, how does the husband feel like he's okay with her?
That's what I'm saying.
And want to take money from another man. Because I know y'all pride be in the way, and I'm like, but it does go to something that we talk about. We see some of these men, they want to be taken care of. And it's like, I can't subscribe to that. Sorry. Like, it's it's if you're doing 50-50, you do what works for you. But if he's laying up and she's having to go, then there's a problem there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's
but even still with that, if you're a man, you want to be taken care of. What are you doing to make sure that she takes care of you? Right. She's not gonna just do it. Like, you gotta be doing something. I get taken care of. I don't have to wash clothes or cook or clean. Can I? Do I? Sure. But I don't have to, because all the other things that I'm doing to take care of her mean more than she wants all of me when I come home. I'm at work. I'm a boss at the job. I come home. She wants all of me. She doesn't want me to be burdened down with everything. We talk about black men in society. Like, I'm still a black man in society. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like,
it's heavy for y'all.
It's different. It's different. And I don't try to understand the plight of the black woman. And, I may not understand, or you may not understand the plight of a black man, but it's an acceptance. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So accepting, when I talk about understanding versus accepting, it's an acceptance. Like, some things you just have to accept that they are real, whether you agree or disagree. That's a real thing. So,
man, powerful stuff, man. How everybody feeling?
Good. This was amazing.
Time to go eat.
Man, it's crazy. Man, it's been a blessing having you guys on the show. Thank you guys again, man. It's been a blessing. We're definitely gonna have you guys on again soon, man. Really good. Now, before we depart, Tracy, Ryan, Let us know what you have going on. You know, is there anything we should look out for? Any sort of products or anything you guys got going on? We can let people know. And what can people find you guys at if they want to just keep up with you guys?
So Ryan Ger, Tracy Marie on Instagram, Jor-El, Jorel. Okay. If you're DC, Marvel, all those superhero fans, yes, Jor-El like Superman. Okay, that is what it comes from. And so we have a dialogue deck. So we have noticed that when we go out to eat, we go on dates, most people are not engaging in conversations. They're on their phone, they're sitting across from each other, they're not talking. So we create a dialogue deck. So go to our page, click the link in our bio to download the dialogue deck. $17.22.
Yep.
You go all the other ones, I'm not gonna name them because I'm not giving no promo, but they cost way more than that, right?
Yeah.
And so ours is a digital download that goes directly to your email within seconds after you make the purchase. So super dope. And it's not just for, again, it's relationship talk, the dialogue deck. It's not just for husbands and wives, boyfriend and girlfriends. We sit around all the time. Y'all know y'all come to the crib. We sit around and ask questions, and you ask one question and that question goes and you talk for 2 hours, you didn't even know it, and then you learn something new. I learned that she was engaged before. I didn't know that today. I did not know that at all. So we'll talk about that at dinner when we leave here.
You just let that slip past your mind.
I believe it.
Sure.
But anyway, Ryan Ger, Tracy Marie, listen, I'm gonna let you talk, but this is our year. So I can't tell you where, I can't tell you when, but I promise you're gonna turn on the TV, you'll be like, they said it. So mark the date, whatever the day is, whenever you watch this, like you will see our faces big time this year soon. So please stay tuned.
All of us, shoot.
Stay tuned.
Sure.
Timestamp right here.
You said it all.
That's it?
You said it all.
And I love my wife. Ain't she fine? She's so fine.
Beautiful.
I'm also,
Beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, and we're gonna definitely cop a deck too. I'm definitely gonna cop from you guys.
Yeah, you gotta cop a deck, man.
I always want to support, man, my black people and what we got going on. So
Hot Fe's got one.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get one too. You know what I mean? I don't know why I ain't got one yet.
Yeah,
I need to go get one.
Look at him. At the soiree. I go
to all of Ryan's events, so I'm always there. I'm
You
always there.
promote
That's
the
my
party,
brother.
but you didn't promote their.
I
the
probably
other stuff.
it probably had a bunch of other things going on.
It's
But,
all right.
but I also want to say, man, thanks again, Hot Feast, man, for your insight on things. Dr. V,
Dr. V.
the doctor. Thank you, Dr. V, man, for your presence and everything. None of this would have been possible without you guys. So thank you guys again.
Thank you, Keon.
Oh, always,
thank
always,
you.
man.
For having us, man.
Hey, I couldn't have
Driving
done this
the
without
ship.
you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate
So you guys stay tuned. Thank you for rocking with us. Keon Taylor, Chocolate Conversations Podcast. Until next time.